lives of those around us. Whether it's aiding in the battle against cancer, helping to educate the next generation, or simply putting a smile on someone's face, the Roosters Foundation has helped raise over $1 million annually for local charities. Our community has given us so much. This is the least we can do. Roosters, we're a fun, casual joint, but so much more.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It's the Justin Kidder Show with Kevin Nash here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Hope everyone has had a great day. We are off and rolling here on a Thursday. Mr. Kevin Nash, welcome.
What up, Doe?
You really want that answer?
I know what's up, but, we'll keep it PG.
Here's the deal. The thing is, like, every time I start to have a bad day at work, I'm always like, wait a minute. Or get to do a sports talk radio show. I mean, the day's really not that bad, but I got to just not let other people just try to get under my skin before we even start the show. But I am excited about today's show. Lots to get into here today. We'll start with the hurry up, which we'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. Talking out loud, an hour full of Dayton Flyers talk with Sully coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Looking forward to that. Plus, on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max earlier this morning, they each highlighted 5 teams that made the playoffs this year that they think will miss the playoffs in 2023. And this is why I blame the Bengals. We should not be having these conversations right now. A lot of content thrown out the window, all because y'all couldn't beat a one-legged Patrick Mahomes. If y'all think I was salty before, I'm extra salty today because I'm like, we should be talking about the Bengals in the Super Bowl. And that's coming from a guy that doesn't really want to see the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Unfortunately, they lost. They had their opportunities, and I think we're all moved on from blaming the referees. I think everybody's moving on. And that's what this whole week is about. It's about moving on. This gap between the Super Bowl is about hiring new coaches, about new rule changes, about this terrible Pro Bowl that we about to all watch. Let's just get through this week, and then we'll be talking about the Super Bowl starting on Monday.
We're live on Facebook. Head to the Justin Kidder Show Facebook page, and that's where you could watch us live, as well as ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Live on Wing AM. We're live at wingam.com as well, where you could stream the show. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of different ways you could take the show. And, of course, the old school way, 1410 Wing AM on the old radio dial. For those of you who still tune in on the AM side of things, we appreciate you. You guys haven't all disappeared on us, so that's a great thing. So I got a voicemail earlier that we'll get to in a moment. I wasn't able to download the voicemail, by the way, but
okay.
I'll at least be able to kind of highlight some of the gist of it. But it was a very interesting phone call. We get these every once in a while, but I thought the timing of the call was interesting as far as what this caller here in the Miami Valley was requesting. We'll get to that around the corner. Also yesterday, National Signing Day. And of course, with National Signing Day, a lot of times we always talk, of course, about the fact that, oh man, how did our teams do? How many 4 and 5 stars did the Buckeyes get? What did our competition do? What did they get? We'll get to that, but I thought it was pretty cool. I reached out to a handful of athletic directors in the Miami Valley earlier today, just to kind of get a list of some of the college commitments from these kids on National Signing Day yesterday in boys and girls sports. And I got quite the laundry list of names, and I want to make sure we highlight as many as we can. And keep in mind, the names that we are listing are not, those are our favorites, and we're skipping over some other kids. We're going to miss some. That's where you guys come in. We want to make sure that we get as many people a shout out on the air as possible, congratulating them on a great academic high school run, but also athletic career as well. And I don't care if it's Division 1, 2, 3, do not care. We're excited for everybody nonetheless. But we'll get into all that coming up. But I want to tip things off here today on the show with the hurry up.
I wish you had more time.
Well, you better hurry it up then. The hurry up.
All right, Kev, the hurry up. This is, of course, this is the portion of the show that we just kind of zip through some topics that we usually don't have a ton of time for. We're off and rolling. Hurry up, number one.
We're going to start in the WNBA.
The WNBA.
Yes, sir.
This is exactly what the hurry up is for. That sounded, hold on, that's not what I meant, but hey, I meant like topics we normally don't spend time on. Even see, I'm such a rude person that even when I'm trying not to be rude, it comes across rude. But no,
that
for
is
real,
be a real for sure. Candace Parker announced she's signing with the Las Vegas Aces. Parker won an WNBA championship with the Sparks in 16 and her hometown Chicago Sky in 21. Also, WNBA news: Breanna Stewart is signing with the New York Liberty, joining last season's MVP Jaquel Jones. So that is our WNBA news.
It's funny. We talked about the WNBA the other day. You and I did. I said, hey, I'll pay attention to the WNBA more in depth when they bring the Houston Comets back. The Houston Comets, that was one hell of a team back in the day. They had Cynthia Cooper, they had Cheryl Swoops, they had Tina Thompson. I absolutely love the Houston Comets. They won 4 WNBA championships.
The first 4.
They made women's basketball cool. I love Cynthia Cooper. She did the Raise the Roof. I mean, everyone wanted to, men and women wanted to be Cynthia Cooper. I love Cynthia Cooper. I love Cheryl Swoops. In fact, she was the women's coach at Loyola for a little bit. She's a little bit of a mean coach, but you know what? That's what made her a great player. I wish I could chime in more and say I follow the WNBA enough to know about the significance of those moves, but I do know this, that when those kind of moves are front of the top of the fold, I guess, if you will, at ESPN.com, highlighting some of these big moves, that is a big deal. And let's not act like, forget the political side of whatever you fall on this, but the Brittany Griner return this upcoming season too. Even the haters are going to be tuning in just to see. We'll see.
This is huge news because this is kind of starting something in the WNBA where there's some super teams forming. I mean, everybody knows the name of Candace Parker, but she's joining the Aces, the team that just won the WNBA championship last year with Asia Wilson, who's the best player in the league. And then you look at Jacquel Jones. She dated
Josh Cunningham, former Flyer, correct?
Correct.
She was always at some games from time to time, but
correct.
Keep going. Yep.
So then you have last year's MVP, Jacquel Jones, joining the Liberty, and then you get Breonna Stewart, the superstar from UConn, joining Sabrina Ionescu, who used to is a mentee of Kobe Bryant. So you're starting to get these super teams in the W. So that's going to help the brand of the WNBA for sure.
Yeah, Keith Tolliver coming in saying that Justin sexist hating on the WNBA. I promise you that's not what that was. My point is we never there's never a talking point of WNBA on the show. We added the hurry up as a way to touch on some topics that we normally would never dedicate 15, 20 minutes to, but we wanted to touch on those because everyone out there, somebody out there is interested in those things. So now but I see why it came across that way, Keith. So my bad on that nonetheless. All right, Kev, the hurry up number 2.
Absolutely. After a 4-year hiatus, the Arena Football League announces return. They're coming back to the field in 2024.
Wait, the Arena Football League?
Yes, sir.
See, now we're getting too many. Now we're getting too, I just want either the XFL, what's the other one that, USFL, and now
the Arena. The Arena is like in 50-yard line.
Does
like
Dayton have an Arena football team?
Yeah.
Like in this league or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
So they play on like 50-yard fields. I remember watching Eddie Brown, who is the father of Antonio Brown, play in the Arena League.
So I'm fine with this because it's not like it's a third league, I guess, that is like I want the XFL or the other league that I want one of those two to stick, just because that season kind of carries on, of course, outside of the NFL season. This one's a little gimmicky, the Arena, Football League or whatever. So I don't know. It doesn't interest me nonetheless. But the thing is, for the first time, we're actually seeing these leagues have a season and then actually have a second season without it being canceled. That includes the XFL, that includes the ASFL. So nonetheless, we'll see how these continue. We know football is king, but it hasn't been able to really dominate outside of the NFL or college football. Maybe that changes. Who knows?
Yeah. Number 3, 14 years ago today, Kobe Bryant dropped 61 points at MSG. The Lakers would beat the Knicks 126-117. And also the Lakers would go on to beat the Orlando Magic in the NBA Finals 4-1.
They did what again?
They beat the Orlando Magic in the NBA Finals 4-1.
Repeat that one. My bad. I'm not following him.
You're good.
Not following
14 years ago today, Kobe Bryant dropped 61 points at Madison Square Garden, beating the Knicks, goodness gracious, 126-117. The Lakers would go on to beat the Orlando Magic in the NBA Finals 4-1.
I got that long ago, huh?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like that, but that was when he did the fake pass or whatever. Yes. Or no, it was Harrison Barnes. No, not Harrison Barnes. Who was that? He was the guy that wanted to beat up Derek Fisher.
Matt
Barnes. I knew it was one of the Barneses. Matt Barnes. He's a fighter too. That's Derek Fisher. I'm just saying, but he did the fake pass into Kobe's face. Kobe wasn't not just that it wasn't happening. It didn't impact him at all. It didn't affect him at all. But yes, one of many. That was supposed to be Kobe versus LeBron that year.
Yes, it was.
That was. I remember. in that series, the Eastern Conference Finals, LeBron did have that. I'll never forget that fadeaway jumper to beat Orlando. I think it was like in game 1 or 2. But they obviously didn't go on to win that series. But that was as close to LeBron, Kobe in the finals that we were going to get. I'm still bummed that never happened. It was so close. The Cavs were the king of the East and the Lakers are at the top of the West. Those two never ran into one another, but that would have been epic. A lot of close calls on great finals that never happened, but that would have been one of them right there. They never crossed paths.
Also, think about it like this. If that was the one and only time that the Denver Nuggets and Carmelo Anthony made it to the Western Conference Finals, if the Denver Nuggets won and the Cavs would have won, you would have got LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony in the NBA Finals. That would have propelled the league into something else besides the same old Lakers and Celtics.
And that's the thing too, is the fact that, like, yes, we think of those guys, they're too buddy. We like the old days back when nobody was friends. But the thing is, they did hang out outside of basketball. There just wasn't social media where they were, of course, tweeting and putting on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, we're out on the boat. We're out doing this. We're out doing that. But with that being said, you're right. I do think, as great as that era of basketball was, we did get gypped of a lot of great finals matchups. I mean, Carmelo LeBron, I don't know if that was ever a rivalry the way it was supposed to be. Had they met, we're talking Patrick Mahomes versus Joe Burrow. The reason it's a rivalry is not because they just keep kind of beating up on one another in the regular season, or at least the Bengals beating up on the Chiefs a lot. The Chiefs finally, but it's because of the magnitude of the matchup of where they're playing in the season. It's the AFC Championship games. It's Mahomes against Burrow. That's what makes that an actual rivalry that's not within the division. In the NBA, it's fun watching Carmelo against LeBron back in the day, but they never played for anything. There was never anything at stake outside of a regular season game, which we know right now doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to fans. So, we didn't really get that Kobe and LeBron in the finals. The same thing. That would have been epic.
It would have been epic. I mean, they remember the commercials with the puppets.
Yep. Yes.
We didn't get it. Number 4, San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan sees no scenario where Jimmy G is back with the Niners.
Yeah, for one, they have 2 quarterbacks now. And I know if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. But last year they had one quarterback and they weren't even sure about that quarterback. So that's why they brought Garoppolo back. But I think it's right to bring Purdy and bring Trey Lance back and let them battle it out in camp. It sounds like Purdy won't be ready at the start. So it's going to be,
Trey Lance show.
Trey Lance going to get all the reps in camp and then preseason, and then he'll get the keys to the car to start the season. And unfortunately for Purdy, if Lance goes out there and just dominates right off the bat or does what Purdy was doing and you don't want to rock the boat,
right?
Who knows? I don't know how long that Purdy storyline is going to last. It is unfortunate. I wanted to see him either fail, like as in they lost because he just finally he finally looked like a guy that was the last pick in the NFL draft, or him just go off against the Eagles and lead them. And I think the worst thing for the Niners happened, and that's the injury that led to a loss. And you lost because he wasn't out there, or maybe you lost because who knows? Either way, you don't really know who he is yet.
Still in
they
limbo.
did great things. I think they're kind of walking and running in place right now.
And he has to have Tommy John surgery, so obviously that's more known as a baseball injury, but that's the same injury that Big Ben had. And once he had that Tommy John surgery, he never gained that zip back on his passes. So obviously Purdy's a lot younger than Big Ben when he's going to have his surgery, but like being out for 6 months, that's going to set you back, man. So I'm hopeful for the guy, man, because he looked like he could play, especially in that offense. So you're going to see.
All right. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. The Hurry Up.
Yes, sir. Last one for us. National Signing Day, as everyone knows, was yesterday. Ohio State is the only team in the Big Ten to have a top 10 class, according to our friends over there at 24/7 Sports Composite, bringing in 1 5-star, 18 4-stars, and 1 3-star.
So you want to know what's interesting? The 1 5-star. That's what I saw Buckeye fans complaining about yesterday, and rightfully so. I mean, it is what it is. Again, I get ripped every year because I hate the Big Ten. I hate it. It is a bad football conference. And I'm telling you, if you go around college football, you take Alabama out of the SEC, you take Clemson out of the ACC, you take Ohio State out of the Big Ten. I know the Pac-12 is about to blow up, but you take, USC, I guess, actually not even them. I don't know who to take out of the Pac-12. They've been bad for so long. But the point is you take the best program out of every conference and then compare those conferences of what's left. The Big Ten without Ohio State, Kev, is so bad that Michigan might be enough to maybe make them a semi-talking point. But this is the last 2 years for Michigan is the best that they've been in decades. So I don't know really what to make of that. Look, the Big Ten has to step their game up. And the sad thing is USC is going to come over and dominate, right? I mean, especially with Lincoln Riley. Where did they fall in those rankings, by the way?
Let me dig it up for you real quick.
I had it up yesterday. I just exited out of it. But nonetheless.
For me, it is alarming that Ohio State's the only team in there in the top 10. Ohio State came in at number 5, and Penn State came at 12. And I want to say Michigan was like at 18.
So Michigan at 18.
Yes.
Now, here's the interesting thing about Harbaugh. His recruiting classes are never that impressive, but that dude coaches guys up. I'm not here to give Michigan too much props, Kev. And Shaw, I hope he's not listening because I don't want him to get a big head or anything like that. But
USC came in at 12.
Really?
Yes.
Penn
State at 13.
To be fair, though, they've done
Michigan at 18.
USC has really put an emphasis on the transfer portal. I think they're going to complement it, with the high schoolers coming out, of course. But it seems like USC has been really emphasizing that. But Alabama 1, Georgia 2, Texas 3, Oklahoma 4, and Ohio State 5, nonetheless. But that was the hurry up. In fact, we'll pick up with this on the other side because I am curious about people's thoughts. So Ohio State, the only Big Ten team to finish in the top 10 recruiting rankings after yesterday's National Signing Day. These classes all, of course, finishing up a little bit. Ohio State coming in at 5. But you have Alabama and Georgia at 1 and 2. That's like it's those two teams pretty much every year, every other year. They're right there at the top. Now, being in the top 5 is not bad. But, again, 1 5-star, 2 for Ohio State. That hasn't happened in a while where they only get 1 5-star. Now, I know, boo-hoo, no one's feeling bad for him, yada, yada. But the thing is this is the one thing about Ohio State that I'll be critical of. We brag about Ohio State on National Signing Day every year. We talk about all the talent they have coming in. Go look at Michigan's recruiting classes since Harbaugh's got here. They've never dominated with their recruiting rankings, but they've dominated Ohio State the last 2 years, Kev. Like, to me, and I'm consistent, the guys and the coaches and the programs that do more with less, I'm always very impressed with. In Michigan, over the last 2 years, they've done more with less. That's the bottom line. They've coached guys up. I'm not saying Ohio State hasn't, but they haven't done it at the clip that you think they would have the advantage. If you're starting a race with the better players than this team over here, you would think that gap would always be there at everyone improving at the same pace. That's not the case. But should we be concerned? Should Buckeye fans be concerned? Not because Ohio State's at 5, but because the rest of the conference is also lacking as well. 518-1410 or jump in the chat section. We'll be right back.
Hi, Greg McAfee here from McAfee Heating and Air. Inflation is hurting families. Gas and food prices continue to soar, but skilled trade jobs are paying at an all-time high rate. Why keep working for less? If you are experienced in HVAC, have a great attitude, love serving people, and enjoy working hard, apply today at mcair.com. That's mcair.com.
A new year and a new career. KTH Parts Industries has immediate openings, second shift production associates, and equipment technicians. Material handling experience is a plus. This is an excellent new opportunity that offers an attractive benefit package, medical, dental, 401k, attendance bonus, and a competitive wage, starting at $19.75 per hour with annual increases. KTH is hosting open interviews Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. Visit kth.net. KTH is an equal opportunity employer.
The all-new Chevrolet of Troy is now open. What are the advantages of shopping at Chevrolet of Troy? Selection has never been better, with over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles available. We always accept employee and supplier pricing, and we make financing easy. Customer service is our top priority. We care about you, with thousands off MSRP, a full-service state-of-the-art dealership, and huge selection. Make Chevrolet of Troy your first stop today. 1375 South Market Street, and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now during Staples Sit-a-thon, select chairs are more than 50% off. Like the leather Vortex gaming chair, now just $119.99 at Staples. You save $140. Plus get 2 2-ounce bottles of Purell hand sanitizer, free with the Staples Connect app. So take a seat or 2. Right now at Staples, the working, learning, and saving store. Offers end 2/4. Chair offer valid in-store and online. Purell Limit 2, in-store only, while supplies last.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $38.99. Go farther with better fuel efficiency. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Still overpaying for a razor? In this economy? Gross. At Dollar Shave Club, you can get a top shelf shave at a regular shelf price. We've been hawking shaving products for years online, and we're excited to bring you the same great quality and low prices at a store near you. From high-quality stainless steel blades to super smooth shave creams, Dollar Shave Club's in the business of making your shave easier. Find Dollar Shave Club in the men's razor aisle. Getting your Dollar Shave Club razor wherever you want. Isn't that great?
Britt Floyd, the world's greatest Pink Floyd show, returns to Rose Music Center at the Heights on Saturday, May 13th to celebrate 50 years of the Dark Side of the Moon, with the show even bigger and better than ever before, complete with new animation, a stunning multi-million-dollar light show, lasers, and more. Live at Rose Music Center on Saturday, May 13th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com and RoseMusicCenter.com. Believe the hype and don't miss it.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. So yesterday, National Signing Day, and Kevin and I, we talked about it briefly. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I don't even know. It's Thursday. This whole week's just been wonky for me. However, the interesting thing about all of this is that National Signing Day just did not feel like National Signing Day. It's not like it was a couple years ago. I remember, we made it a big deal on the station. We had Ohio State reports running all day because, it was just like every hour, we're getting up. There's like a phone-a-thon. You just start ringing the bell every time a 5-star, 4-star committed to Ohio State. They're still getting those guys, but I just mean like now it's, you have the early signing period and you kind of, these guys are announcing early anyway. So it's like really today they're just kind of putting, and I also think, because the transfer portal is so big, Kev, the reason we could talk about early signing period. The early signing period to me is not why a National Signing Day feels like nothing. It's the transfer portal. Like, I really don't care where you're going because chances are you're going to be one of the 5,000 student athletes that enter the transfer portal at some point. So it's kind of hard to get all excited about that. At least for me. How much of that do you think impacts why this isn't as exciting of a day as it used to be?
I think mainly because the early signing period is the reason why this day isn't all met with the bells and whistles that it once was. Even with the early signing day, we don't do something big and extravagant because there's just so much going on. Like 9 times out of 10, Ohio State's preparing for a college football playoff game. So we're not even thinking about the recruits. But the only people thinking about the recruits are the Buckeyes and waiting for their letters to come in to make them official Buckeyes. So I missed this day because this was a huge content day. This was an entire show. We're having reporters from the Buckeyes call in and tell us about this player, that player, this player, that player. Then this would be the day that you would finally get to talk to those players because they're officially Ohio State Buckeyes, for the guys that enroll early and things of that nature. So I miss it. I miss this being like a big day for college football.
So again, the top 5 classes in the 2023 recruiting rankings, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings here, Alabama 1, Georgia 2. Kev, last year, number of teams 1 and 2, Texas A&M, Alabama 2, Georgia was at 3. You go to 2021, of course. There's just a trend here. You look at it's Alabama at number 1, and then Georgia's there at number 3. So, and it's just like every year, those 2 teams are at the top. No matter how many times they were 4. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Georgia was 4. But, no matter how many times we try to squeeze Ohio State into that category, it's Ohio State, Alabama, and everybody else. I don't think that's the case. I don't even know if Alabama from a recruiting standpoint, yes, but like Georgia, they just have a stranglehold on college football right now. Alabama's getting all the praise. We still talk Nick Saban. At some point, Kirby Smart in Georgia, they're gonna start losing their minds about like, hey, we're the big dog in college football. Like we need to stop doing the like getting Nick Saban's well deserved, but the new big dog right now in the SEC seems to be Georgia because they are winning at every level. They're doing a very good job in the transfer portal rankings. They're doing, I mean, a kick-ass job when it comes to the old school recruiting rankings. They're winning national championships back to back. I mean, they're doing everything, and that's why their quarterback he was just celebrating a little bit too much over the weekend. But your thoughts again on Alabama just in Georgia having the success that they are right now in the recruiting rankings. Not that Ohio State's not, but they're not having the success that these two teams are.
I'm looking at Alabama, 28 commits.
Yes.
28 new players coming in that are freshmen. That's not even including guys that they got coming in the transfer portal. And out of those 28, 9 of them are 5-star, 18 are 4-star. Like, that's crazy. So that's just an influx of talent coming onto your team. So we always get caught up in the starters and the starting offensive line, starting wide receiver, starting quarterback, and all that. But when you bring in talent like that, that creates depth and not just guys that can go in there and give somebody a breather, like quality depth. So your backups are getting good reps in practice as well. So we hear this a million times. The practice between Alabama and Alabama is more important than the games half the time. So that's what the type of depth that Ohio State needs to get back to.
So, and again, you talked about all the stuff that could play a role in some of this. Are we at the point? What class is the NIL going to have the most impact on? I think it's going to be the next go round. I think you're starting to see it here, possibly. I mean, I was listening to Austin Moore do an interview the other day. I was listening to just different, Buckeye analysts kind of throughout the week, just talking about how name, image, and likeness is playing a role out on the recruiting trail. The problem is Ohio State lands so many big names that we think they're winning, and they're not losing, but they are missing out on some key dudes because they can't even compete in the NIL field that Ohio State's trying to pretend to be swimming in. They will catch up with everyone else, but the problem is in the time that it takes to catch up with everybody else, as far as what Alabama and Georgia and some of these other teams are doing, how much are you going to lose in between that? Over time, you may get some of that back, but that, Ohio State's going to be having to swim in those transfer portal waters. The other thing, too, is Ohio State has, really focused more. If you've noticed, I don't know about you guys, but more than any time before that I can remember, especially, with Urban not being he wasn't big on recruiting Ohio. And it wasn't that he was anti-Ohio. He was just go get me the damn best players we can get.
Right.
I've seen more local coaches post pictures with Ohio State's coaching staff here in the Miami Valley in this last summer and a half than I can ever remember during Urban's time. And that is fantastic. That's fantastic for our area. So this isn't a shot at any kid or any high school teams around here. I'm fine with that. But I think Ohio State's getting to the point where they're going to start falling back in recruiting, and their shield is going to be, we're recruiting Ohio, we're recruiting Ohio, we're recruiting Ohio. Tons of great talent there, but your shield can't be, hey, we're actually not going after the big prospects anymore. We're just worried about our backyard. That's fine. And if that's how you want to win people over, but eventually that gap is going to start to be, created wider as far as them and some of those top teams in the country. I am interested to see how far that goes before people start picking up on that. Don't try to trick us into that things are going well. But it's great that you're recruiting Ohio, but if the gap starts to separate even more and more, that could be a concern.
Absolutely. And you can take a look at the guys that they recruit. They're got the 4- and 5-star guys, but they're all skill position guys. They're wide receivers. They're cornerbacks. They're not the big uglies. It's just, look, it's the boring position.
Yep.
It's the position that nobody cares about because it doesn't make splash plays. It's the guards. It's the tackles. It's the defensive tackles. That is where the game is won and lost, because if you can't move the ball at the line of scrimmage, you're not going to be able to move the ball. You can have all the tall, fast wide receivers in the world, but if you can't get on the ball, they mean absolutely nothing. So Ohio State's always going to get the skill position guys, especially when you got a guy like Brian Hartline and Coach Day up there. That, hey, man, we're going to get you to the league. We wide receiver. Look at all these. Look at Olave. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. Jackson Smith going to go in the first round. People are always going to be enamored with that. What we need to get back to doing is getting the Bosa's of the world, the Chase Youngs of the world. We need to get back to that type of guy on the defensive line, because that is where the game is ultimately won.
So this came from 11 Warriors earlier today, but Mark Pantoni says that Ohio State may pull out of recruiting national players earlier. And I guess not. Okay, hold on. Let me reset that. Make sure context is met here. Mark Pantoni says Ohio State will pull out or may pull out of recruiting national players earlier if their recruitments are focused on NIL. So, and again, this is what I don't like. Okay, now hear me out. I don't like college is not a do-gooder sport. So let's not pretend to be do-gooder. And what I mean by that is I know what Ohio State's doing here. This is what, so if I got mad at Michigan for doing this, I can't read Ohio State's basically saying the same things Michigan was a year ago when we were criticizing Michigan and act like it's not a big deal. For instance, Michigan tried to, on their high horse, do the whole, we want to do it the right way. We're not going to, we're not going to make this like we're paying you to play here. We want the guys that want to be here. Michigan fans ate that up. Yeah, because the coaches know, hey, fans hate NIL. They hate the transfer portal. So if they rally, they're trying to gain sympathy from the fans so that we feel for them and say, yeah, coach, I agree with you. We want guys that want to be here. We don't want someone coming here that just wants the money, even though, by the way, both can really be the same thing. But there could be recruits that really want to come to Ohio State, but also know their worth as far as what the market tells them they're worth on the NIL trail. But my problem with all of this is they're doing the do-gooder routine and trying to get people to rally behind that. Like, we're going to back out of these national players, these big-time national players. If they're going to make it about NIL, we're going to back out of that. We're just going to focus regionally. So there's no players regionally that want NIL dollars. Look, maybe I'm being dramatic, but I don't like falling for the do-gooder routine when really what they're saying is we're going to back out of national recruiting because, well, we can't compete with them from an NIL perspective. And I get it. They can't come out and say that.
They're choosing not to compete.
They're
choosing not to compete.
Who's choosing not to compete, though?
The university. The university's not.
But we have to point the finger at someone, right?
Yes, the university choosing not to tie in with the collectives.
Not Ryan Day.
Yeah, it's not Coach Day's fault. It's not up to him.
His head will roll, though.
Yes, he will be the one that takes the blame and let, God forbid, a 3-loss season come around these parts. He's going to be the one everybody's looking at. He's going to be the one everybody's blaming. Like, we'll get it together, coach. Get it together. So-and-so is good. So-and-so is good. Well, he was in on player X, but, we don't have a good collective, a good relationship with our collective, so we can't go ahead and give player X the money. So what Ohio State is trying to do is trying to wait it out. They're trying to wait out the NCAA. They're trying to wait out the NCAA to get to a point where, all right, they're going to make it a level playing field. They're going to say, all right, you can only offer X amount of dollars. They're trying to wait this thing out. But while you're waiting it out, that means you fall further and further behind because the other schools that aren't waiting it out, that are coughing up that money, they're going to just keep getting better and better and better. So that's why I was so adamant that winning the national championship this season was vital because NIL and the collective at Ohio State, if you're not seeing eye to eye, you're going to take a step back. You absolutely are, because it is all about the Jimmies and the Joes. It is. It's just, unfortunately, it's going to be that way. You can be the smartest guy in the room, and you can have me and you out there playing football. We're not going to score. It just is what it is because the other people are better. Now, they're going to still be Ohio State. They're still going to be good, but are they going to be national championship level good? Are they going to put on a performance like they did in the Peach Bowl? No, because they probably won't be getting those type of dudes if they're going to go ahead and back out. I understand what Coach would be saying, like, hey, we want guys that want to be here, that want to be Buckeyes, and we don't want it solely only be about NIL. Like, if Coach Day would have said that, then I would understand what he's talking about. Like, you don't want to talk to a guy that's like, all right, how much money y'all going to give me? No, you don't want that type of conversation. You really want the conversation to be really about, hey, you coming to this school, we're going to put you in the best position to get to the pros, and this is the collective unit that we have for you. This is the package. Okay, cool. You want the collective basically to be an afterthought. Ohio State wants it to get to a point where it's back all about the football, but it's not going to be back all about the football until the NCAA decides that they want it to be all about the football. So until then, we need to get our stuff together and get with the collectives and have some type of unity, because what happened at the University of Florida can happen to Ohio State too.
So the On3 social media, their Twitter account, they just put this out a little bit ago that Alabama has officially launched. Alabama has launched as the preferred NIL collective of Crimson Tide Athletics. This is the first time that the full power of the Alabama brand has been put behind the collective as far as their socials. Like, so if you go to Ohio State's website, or if you go to their socials, they will not retweet, they will not share, they will not do anything with any of those collectives that are out there. Alabama is actually, rather than fighting these, they are joining these. They are having members as part of the committee on these collectives so that there is almost a partnership at hand. So if Ohio State comes out and says, here's the, here's the double-edged sword about that, clearly there's not a double-edged. Clearly there's a way that both can win. Because if Alabama's figuring out and Georgia's figuring it out, I'm sorry, Ohio State, but you no longer get to do we're having issues with this. You're not allowed to have issues. You're not allowed to have issues. You can't. If you have issues, it's almost self-inflicted a little bit. They got to figure that out, because don't want to keep repeating ourselves. But while they try to wait it out, and as Steve Stetler says right here, Steve Stetler says, they're going to wait themselves out of contention.
Exactly.
And that people are listening. Oh, you guys are being dramatic. I don't think Steve's being dramatic. I don't think Kevin and I are being dramatic.
Man, college football moves at a fast pace. Think about it like this. I also follow Florida State football. So they win the national championship, Jameis Winston's red shirt freshman year. They go to the college football playoff that following season. They get blown out by Oregon. And then they fall off the map because all the best players go to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's over. They're finally decent again. You know how long ago that was? It was like 7-8 years ago. Like, that's how fast it happens. You can fall off the mat in college football in a blink of an eye. And then on top of that, you throw in the transfer portal. So look at Texas A&M. They had the #1 recruiting class of all time. They signed like 28 guys, like 18 of them transferred. So what that tells you is people not sticking around and people not waiting. So why should Ohio State be waiting to get involved with their collectives? Like, why are we waiting? What's the holdup? Because you see all the other quote unquote big time programs, they're not waiting around. So why should we? Why should we as a fan base just be okay with you guys not being involved with the collectives, trying to get the best talent on the football field?
So to show you how quickly things change, that LSU national championship from back in 2020, that seems
better example.
Like that was 2 years ago. 2 years and some actually, no, it was 2 years ago because it's February right now. It was 2 years ago. So as we sit here right now, I guess 3 years ago, 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, that's not that long of a time, but think about what's happened in 3 years. Joe Burrow wins a national championship. Joe Burrow is drafted wins a Heisman Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
He goes #1 overall to the Cincinnati Bengals. He has a season-ending injury. He goes through an entire offseason and just barely gets clearance to get on the field for preseason heading into year 2. They draft Jamar Chase. They start the year out slow. Urban Meyer was the coach of the Jaguars. Urban Meyer then finds a cute little blonde chick at what's, by the way, it's no longer called the Urban Meyer. They got rid of the name.
Wow.
It's no longer the Urban Meyer restaurant. I don't know what the hell it was, but
Pint House,
they took his name off of it. They stand for a lot, but not for flirting with hot blonde chicks at the bar. They cannot deal with it.
That's where they draw the line.
That's where they draw the line. So let's see what else happens. Oh yeah, 30 plus years without a playoff victory. They snapped that. They've actually won 5 playoff games since then. They've been to back-to-back AFC championships. It's actually time to pay Joe Burrow, and that's all happened in 3 years. And by the way, the reason I bring all this up, think about how quick that was.
LSU fired their head coach.
Brian Kelly and his family have moved to Louisiana. Now they're Jackson McGowan from Miami's brother. He's there right now. That's 3 years worth of. That's how quick. By the way, LSU went to the bottom of the barrel, and now they've come back up since then. But things happen in a hurry. A lot happens in a short amount of time. You could be buried pretty quickly.
Absolutely, man. So for people that just want to sit here and think, "Oh, we'll be fine, we'll be okay," that's not how this game works, man. This is not the NFL where you sign a guy to a contract and he's going to be there for like 4 or 5 years. These dudes are in and out. It's always been like that because it's college. But now you can hit the transfer portal. You can leave. You can just go somewhere else if you choose to. And then with Ohio State not really being heavily involved in the transfer market, then what? So what's going on? Like, that's the biggest question I have. Like, what's the long play here? Because if the long play is like, all right, we're just going to be the Big Ten champs and be 10-2 every single year, let us know up front. Let us know up front, because this ain't it, because this is not what people signed up for, because we has been spoiled. I mean, going back to the Tressel years, we expect to be playing for national champions. That's it. That's all.
And that's a fair expectation. Now, Shaw on Facebook, Kev, says, I believe Michigan and Ohio State are choosing to not get in on players before they are enrolled and contribute to the team. Michigan, for instance, is paying their returning players and transfer players. I believe that's what they are meaning, and that is why both schools are both losing in recruiting, one worse than the other.
He is right. He is right. They want Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson. They want it to be done, quote unquote, the right way. They want the guys, hey, we want you to come to Ohio State, be immersed in Michigan and Clemson culture. Get on the field, ball out of control, and then we'll put our big machine behind you and help you get this money and be all you can be. But that's not how this is working. Other schools are paying dues before they even get on campus. So you can either get with that program or not get with that program, because the better players are going to go where they're going to get paid too. Like, there is not going to be so many guys out there that's going to just take a leap of faith and say, well, I really want to be a Buckeye. They're offering me opportunity, but man, Alabama's offering me an opportunity and some money. I think I'm going to go to Alabama because I'm going to get the money too.
So, and by the way, and again, Shaw, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I did compliment Michigan. I said the one thing that they're doing, I mean, by the way, they've had better recruiting years in years past than the recent run that they're on. Now, some of that's because of the flirting with the NFL constantly. I don't think that helps in recruiting. But point is, Harbaugh is coaching guys up. Harbaugh is getting way more out of his guys than what Day's getting out of his. And that's with Ryan Day having talented rosters. I think Day's rosters are about to kind of take a hit here in the immediate future. We'll see. But the thing is, you could patch things quick in the transfer portal, to be fair. So we'll see what ends up happening.
You got to be willing to do that.
And the thing is, Michigan and Ohio State, to Shaw's point, it's one of those things that they could sit there and say, well, we don't want to give the guys money before they come here and prove something. That's fine. You could stand on your morals all you want, but while you're doing that, those other teams are doing it their way, and those are the teams that are hoisting up national championships, 4 straight national championships out of that conference, and you want to pretend you're the smartest conference and programs in the room. That's not – got to be careful. But maybe they are. Maybe they are, but who knows?
They're preaching culture. They're preaching culture. Big Ohio State and Michigan are preaching the culture of the program, which is great. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot of great guys like that. And ultimately, they might be right. But as a fan base, when you're seeing guys that you were in on recruiting for, and they go to other places and they basically say, I went to this school because I got offered more money. That's a bad look. Even when Brandon Ennis said, yeah, I got offered more money to go to other schools. You don't like hearing that. That's making us believe that our school, our team that we root for, isn't in it to win it. But they want us to be in it. They want us in the shoe. They want us spending $200, $300 for a ticket. They want us buying new hats. They want us buying new hoodies. They want us to be in it. Why aren't they in it?
All right, 518-1410, 518-1410. Tim says it's still called Urban's Pint House. Oh, you know what? Did they keep it the same in Columbus? So they had one. They added one over in Jacksonville. So I think they changed the name in Jacksonville. Tim, thank you for that. Actually, I'm glad you said that because I said that pretty definitively. Some friends of mine and I, we were talking about this about a week or two ago, that they got rid of Urban's Pie House, or that the company that owned it changed the name because of that. But that must have been in Jacksonville, because he is right. I just looked it up in Columbus. It's still Urban Meyer's Pie House. My apologies. I did get that wrong. Tim, thanks for the correction. But the one that they changed was the one in Jacksonville.
Look at all that free pub for Urban's Pie House.
I heard that. Nope. All right. Kev, who's on line one?
Brandon's on line one.
What up, Brandon? How are you? Welcome. Did we lose Brandon?
We lost him.
All right. I know Shaw's waiting on hold. Shaw, I'm making you wait a little longer, not because it's the usual reasons why, but we just have to hit this break. But 518-1410. Mark Smith said, Kenner, how many times have you had to answer about hot blonde chicks when you get home? Actually, none. Well, look, I mean, the camera shot here is just from the shoulders up, but if I stand up, you couldn't tell the difference. I'm probably about the same height sitting down as standing up, and I'm pretty round. So my wife doesn't have to worry when I go out. Let's just put it, she sleeps just fine whenever I go out with friends and not her. Let's just put it that way. So there you go. Tim says it's also the coolest sports bar I've ever seen. Steve Stetler, remember the Cooper years. That's what we're looking forward to. Man, Steve, I love the contributions. Your negativity, though. It's too far. No, we'll be right back. It's the Johnson Kidder Show with Kevin Nash, 1410 ESPN Radio. 518-1410. Give us a call. We'll get you on hold. We'll get you in on the conversation. Don't go anywhere.
Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest tax refund, plus a chance to double your refund with the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal return ends 4/2/23.
You wouldn't climb the Rockies with just one boot. You wouldn't go in a rainstorm with half an umbrella. And you wouldn't go through a car wash with your convertible roof half closed. But if you haven't gotten the updated booster, you're only partly protected from COVID-19. It works against Omicron and the latest variants. That's especially important if you're over 65. So get the new booster and get fully protected. A message from the Ohio Department of Health.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
It's the final days to save big store-wide at the Truckload event at Lowe's. Right now, get deals on select major appliances and take home what you buy same day. And save an additional 10% on all in-store clearance appliances. Plus, get savings on even more items across the store, like up to 40% off select bathroom products. Hurry and head to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowes.com to shop the Truckload event today. Exclusions apply. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See Lowes.com for details. Valid 1/26 through 2/8.
Better sleep can change your life. That's because sleep is a core pillar of health, just like nutrition and exercise. So if you're not getting enough of it, ZQL invites you to take our Better Sleep to Better Health challenge. Join today at ZQL.com to get weekly sleep tips from experts and learn how ZQL, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, can help enhance your journey to better sleep. ZQL's Better Sleep to Better Health challenge. Visit ZQL.com now.
When I got the news, I was shocked. I was scared. I was angry. When I heard it could be treated with the right care, I was relieved. I was happy.
I was given a second chance.
Urology Specialists of Ohio offers men peace of mind. 5 physicians and 5 locations. Now accepting new patients. Make an appointment with a physician that cares about your health and prevention. Urology Specialists of Ohio, Beaver Creek, Springfield, Urbana, Xenia, and London. Online at urologyspecialistsofohio.com.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
You wouldn't climb the Rockies with just one boot. You wouldn't go in a rainstorm with half an umbrella. And you wouldn't go through a car wash with your convertible roof half closed. But if you haven't gotten the updated booster, you're only partly protected from COVID-19. It works against Omicron and the latest variants. That's especially important if you're over 65. So get the new booster and get fully protected. A message from the Ohio Department of Health.
Hey, it's Justin Kidder for my friends at Black Rock Bar and Grill. When I want a great steak, I head to Fairfield Commons for not only a great meal, but a great experience. There is nothing more fun than cooking your own steak on a 755-degree sizzling volcanic rock. There's always a unique experience waiting for you at Black Rock Bar and Grill. And this month, you can celebrate with an exclusive that I am really excited about. Bourbon aficionados, listen up. Black Rock Bar and Grill now has a supply of Eagle Rare, and it's available right now while supplies last. Produced and distilled by Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare bourbons are some of the most sought-after bottles on the market. Aged for no less than 10 years, each barrel used to age Eagle Rare is hand-selected to offer consistent flavor from batch to batch, but also to showcase each batch's unique flavors and aromas. And right now, you can enjoy Eagle Rare at Black Rock, but only while supplies last. Stop in for lunch, dinner, or an after-work break. Remember, it's only at Black Rock. Celebrate with Eagle Rare bourbon while you can, and please drink responsibly.
Here at Roosters, we're not just a fun casual joint. We're a family. No matter who we are serving, our guests or our community, we strive to better the lives of those around us. Whether it's aiding in the battle against cancer, helping to educate the next generation, or simply putting a smile on someone's face, the Roosters Foundation has helped raise over $1 million annually for local charities. Our community has given us so much. This is the least we can do. Roosters, we're a fun casual joint, but so much more.
WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. All right, off and rolling. Again, we just kind of were able to touch on a little Ohio State stuff as far as National Signing Day was concerned. And again, Ohio State, they've done a good job. They landed the number one corner in the transfer portal, by the way. I believe it was a transfer from Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, so that's why I just try to say very vague, by the way. But nonetheless, that's where, and by the way, we can't sit here. So a while back, who was, Fitzy. We had Jason Fitz on, and we talked about what's more important, the recruiting, National Signing Day like this, or, having success in the transfer portal. And it's like, if we're going to see, and maybe that's to that point of, okay, we're not going to give money to incoming high schoolers, but we'll take care of the guys that are coming in the transfer portal. Where would you rather see that money be allocated? But then again, we're watching Alabama find a way to do both. So I guess there's that argument to be made. But let's just pretend that Ohio State is a poverty-stricken university, and they just have to be very careful with all those dollars, the billions of dollars coming in off that TV deal. I know that's for the conference, but they're getting a nice little chunk of change themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But if you have to, it's just, and again, it's not their money directly, but look, you found backdoor ways to get it to players before. You could find backdoor ways to get it to the collectives now. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. But nonetheless, if you have to choose where the money goes, I mean, would you rather have money? I want to give the money to the high schoolers coming in, who you're usually bringing them in to sit behind someone else. They get impatient and bolt right away. I'd rather say, hey, we have money for the guy that's going to come in right now, take this spot, perform right now for us. I feel like the money is better well spent in the transfer portal than it actually is for the kids coming out. I guess there is a good argument to be made about that.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. I mean, you look at some of the teams that are up there high in the transfer portal rankings. You got LSU at 1, Florida State at 2, USC at 3, Auburn at 4, and Colorado at 5. There's no mystery why this upcoming season, like Florida State is like a favorite to be like potentially be a CFP buster, because they were able to raid the transfer portal and they had it coming off a good season, and they're returning a lot of guys this upcoming season. So they're in the mix, but Ohio State is nowhere to be found on the top. I'm still scrolling. 47 in the transfer portal ranking, which is fine. This is fine because you say you're building your program through high school football. You can do that, but there's teams out there that do both, because LSU is number 1 in the transfer portal and top 10 in high school recruiting.
They also have less holes to fill. I mean, you got to think that whole offense is coming back. And a lot of their big gets that they got in the offseason so far in the transfer portal have been on the defensive side of the ball. So I guess what they have on the roster currently matters too. They don't have any holes on the offense. Trevion Henderson's coming back. They got a lot of depth at the running back. Obviously, you have the quarterback that, there's We have seen nothing from Ohio State to have any kind of doubt that the next man up is going to be that, I'm done doing the I got to see it to believe it thing. Ryan Day has earned my trust as far as the offensive dudes that he brings in, the quarterbacks that he brings in. We went from, obviously this was an overlap with the Urban Meyer era, but I mean, you talked about the fact you go from JT Barrett to Dwayne Haskins and Dwayne Haskins to Justin Fields and Justin Fields to CJ Stroud. I mean, how many handoffs from these guys do we have to see before it's like, okay, I think Day knows what he's doing at this point. So I'm not concerned about quarterback. We know Marvin Harrison Jr., Ibuka coming back too. Ibuka and Marvin Harrison Jr., if you look at their stats side by side, they're pretty damn even. That's what's fascinating. I know from a skill set standpoint, Marvin Harrison blows Ibuka away, but Ibuka's putting up the same exact stats as Marvin Harrison Jr. last year, and they're just going to be more seasoned, more skilled, another full off season in the weight room. Ohio State's offense, I'm not concerned about their offense next year. It's going to be all in that defense because I'll give why am I drawing a blank on his name? The defensive coordinator they got from the Big 12, that's what everyone was poking at. But nonetheless, bringing him over, it was kind of crazy to expect him to turn it around all in one full season.
Right.
But if we don't start to see at least some kind of major change defensively as far as the results are concerned in year two, it's like, okay, what did you really upgrade there as far as that's concerned? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the only concern on offense for me will be the offensive line. You're losing 3/5 of the offensive line. Paris Johnson going to be a first-round pick. DeJuan Jones is killing it down there at the Senior Bowl. And Wepler, the center, was a surprise guy to go pro early. So you're losing those three guys, but you hit the transfer market for an offensive lineman who's going to be competing for one of the guard spots. So that's the only part about the offense that I will be keeping an eye on.
518-1410. What up, Shaw? You're up.
How's it going, folks?
Good.
Agreeing with both of you about multiple topics here on the recruiting side of it. I agree that it's lost its luster. Yesterday did. Because of transfer portal and because of the early signing period. But also for me, being a Michigan fan and witnessing us losing in the recruiting battles for years, going on years now, I've just stopped paying attention to all the early stuff. I was one that used to get on all the sites and pay attention to all the recruiting stuff nonstop and almost become sick about it. But I stopped that years ago just because kind of what you guys were just talking about with the NIL stuff right now. I recognized early on Michigan just wasn't going to do it. And then you fast forward to now where paying players is actually legal and they're opening up the bags and allowing you to do all that now. And then Michigan still doesn't want to do it. And kind of piggybacking on what I said earlier with the two schools, Ohio State and Michigan, I believe I don't know if they have a joint agreement between the two schools. I don't know if there's a joint agreement amongst the Big Ten. I don't know what it is with like Ohio State, Michigan, and maybe even a little bit of Penn State too. I don't get why they're not getting in on the high school kids. That's why I was so adamant about saying last year's team, when they, especially in December, when we had that shot going against TCU and at least getting to the national championship. That's why I was saying that was so huge for me personally, because I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to see that. Agreeing with you, Kenner, Alabama and Georgia and the schools down south, all they're doing is taking what they're doing recruiting wise and on the field and exploding like a rocket ship even farther out in front of what Michigan's doing. And if the NCAA or whoever decides to rein this stuff back in, well, okay, that's fine and dandy, but we still have to bridge that gap that we already have, that we have right now. And I just don't see when that happens. I don't see how it happens. And I guess it would probably be the same type of frustrations for Ohio State fans and everything like that, just because you can see the writing on the wall. The stubborn ones don't, but for those that understand what's going on, you can see the writing on the wall where USC's wanting to pay the players and some of the schools out west and all the schools down south are wanting to pay their players before they get on campus. It's great. It's fine. It's great for the tradition, and it's fun to say those who stay will be champions and all that. But quite frankly, I'd rather say we are champions and me personally, and this is where I get in arguments with Michigan friends up there in Ann Arbor. They're like, no, we need to do it the right way. We need to do it, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to be paying players before they're on campus. And I'm like, okay, then you can't complain about losing to Alabama and Georgia every year on the field. But they do. And I don't know. It's overall, like, for Michigan, for my sake, this will be the last year. We returned 33 of the 44 on the 2 deep. This is the last year. And then, like Kenner said, you throw in the combination of Harbaugh tickling the NFL all the time and going, is he in, is he out, is he in, is he out? That's obviously not helping recruiting at all. And I don't see moving forward how the 18th ranked class, the 19th ranked class, and I don't remember what it was 3 years ago. I don't remember what that recruiting class was. I don't see how, yes, we're developing, but I don't see how that we're starting from a lot lower type of player, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, we're starting with lower threes and we're starting with some fours instead of we were starting with a lot of fours and a lot of higher threes and some fives to develop up into the players that they are now. I don't see where we're going to be competing.
You know, for me, Shaw, it's like this. It's one thing to lose out on a recruiting battle just because, like, all right, man, they lost out on a recruiting battle. But then to lose out on a recruiting battle because your school is unwilling to get into that game, that kind of burns me a different way. And it's the schools from the Big Ten that are making these decisions because they're trying to play both sides of the fence. They want to be, all right, we're an athletic institution. We want to make sure we take care of all the sports. Where in the SEC, they know it's really all about football. And they know that's what pays the bills is football. And until we realize that the Big Ten is just not going to work. Like, you can't try to play this game. And more importantly, it's about power and ego. We don't want to give up that Rolodex. And when I say we, I mean Ohio State Athletic Department doesn't want to give up that Rolodex of the contacts because they want to be able to call up Bob's carpet place and get that check instead of Kev and Kenner from the collective calling to get that check because they want that money to come into Ohio State athletics as opposed to it coming into the collective.
What is the restrictions on the involvement of universities with these collectives? Because at the end of the day, it sounds like what Alabama's doing is Ohio State screwed up because in all this time they've been dragging their feet. There's 3 or 4 different collectives out there that formed. There's been some collectives that formed for Alabama, and Alabama, from what I just read and from how I comprehend it, is they just said, yeah, y'all could do your own thing, but we're going to start our own collective over here. Like, I didn't think you could be involved, though. I didn't think the schools can facilitate this. I don't think it's obviously a Gene Smith going out and starting one, but what is...
I'm not 100% sure, but from my understanding is what they're doing down there in Alabama, they're working with the collective. So, like, the collectives themselves they're promoting it at Alabama stuff. They're promoting it at Alabama basketball games. Be a part of blah, blah, blah collective. Be a part of this collective. They know where the money's going. It's going back to the athletic program to bring in the talent. And that is the whole purpose of the collective. It's like, so they're working together as opposed to doing what Ohio State is doing. Trying to like, no, that's your guys' thing. Our thing is over here. They're working together. And that seems not to be the case at Ohio State right now.
All right. Justin Kenner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. 518-1410, that's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Of course, you could do that coming up here at any time. All right. By the way, I just saw a little bit ago, they must have heard the Black Rock Bar and Grill spot that ran during the last one. But Mark Smith says, great, now I want Black Rock for steak and bourbon. You a big bourbon guy?
Let's get it.
You a big bourbon guy?
I've had bourbon before. My mom is a bourbon drinker. So we got bourbon. We got into the bourbon on Christmas. We opened up a fresh bottle of bourbon. It's very strong.
I get made fun of all the time because I'm usually more of the driver for my wife. My wife, she likes to enjoy a drink or two from time to time, and she loves the old bourbon. She loves bourbon. So she has me hooked on bourbon now. And that's why when Black Rock Bar and Grill reached out, I thought that this partnership was perfect, of course. But by the way, before we get to the bourbon side of things, have you ever eaten at Black Rock Bar and
I have
Grill?
not.
They have that hot stone. I think, what is it, like 755 degrees, sizzling volcanic rock stone that's like right there in front of you. Sounds dangerous, of course. Probably, keep your kids' hands out of reach. But they like sear the steak on both sides, and then every bite you get to like basically cook to your exact, liking. And it's a fresh, hot bite every single time. And my goodness, the sides are amazing. And of course, I'm a fatty, so they also bring out the brownies cooked in there. The brownies with the ice cream on top, and that's the way to my heart right there. So there you go. But I highly suggest, if you haven't done so, that is it's a very cool spot to go. They have your regular burgers and fries, and they have, some lighter meals. You could just go in, eat and go. Or if you want the experience of having that volcanic rock put right in front of you and you could cook and sear your own steak right there, I highly suggest you check out Black Rock Bar and Grill. There's always a unique experience waiting for you at Black Rock Bar and Grill. And this month you could celebrate with an exclusive that I'm really excited about, of course. And bourbon aficionados, you definitely want to listen up here. Black Rock Bar and Grill now has a supply of Eagle Rare, and it's available right now while supplies last. In fact, it is produced and distilled by Buffalo Trace. Eagle Rare bourbons are some of the most sought-after bottles on the market, aged for no less than 10 years. Each barrel used to age Eagle Rare is hand-selected to offer consistent flavor from batch to batch, but also to showcase each batch's unique flavors and aromas. And right now, you can enjoy Eagle Rare and at Black Rock, but only while supplies last. You could stop in for lunch, dinner, or an after-work break or snack. Remember, it's only at Black Rock. Celebrate with Eagle Rare bourbon while you can, and please drink responsibly. Let's see what else is coming in. Steve Stetler says scallops are great there.
Allergic.
You're allergic?
Yeah.
Every time you don't like something, you say you're allergic. Dogs, cats.
I've been busted.
I know. Kevin's not as good a person as you guys think. I mean, he's not as good a person as you got to think. The Humane Society brings all these cute, adorable dogs in for us to give away, and Kevin's like, "Oh, keep away from me." He goes and hides in his office. Oh, my throat's swelling shut. Oh, big baby. Shaw says, "I love Black Rock Bar and Grill. First time I went was in Michigan. Was giddy when they came to Fairfield." Shaw, you were giddy. He was giddy for when they brought it to Fairfield Commons. That place is cool, though. I've eaten there a few times. Really good. And like I said, for Valentine's Day, one year, Nora and I went. And that was really cool. So there you go. There you go. Shaw also said, "Tell Kev to try Woodford Select. Not as much burn. He might like that bourbon."
Woodford Select. I'll write that down.
Forget that. What you want is the Eagle Rare. Okay. All right. Justin Kenner, Kevin Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. On the other side, we talked about Ohio State with, of course, National Signing Day and the recruiting rankings. Yawn, boring. We'll put that over to the side. I say yawn and boring because the exciting part's coming up where we get to kind of take a look at the list of some of the top high school athletes here in the Miami Valley that also announced their commitment. Now, some of these athletes have already committed before yesterday, but I appreciate a lot of the athletic directors here in the Miami Valley that kind of sent, I touched base with them throughout the day. Just want to make sure we get as many of the athletes' names as possible to make sure we highlight their success and where they plan on going next. So we'll highlight some of the top athletes in the Miami Valley for both boys and girls sports. So that's coming up. 518-1410. We're going to miss some names, folks. We're going to miss some names. It's what always happens. Every time we do a high school, how come you didn't bring up my kid? Or how come we don't wake up saying, can't wait to not bring that kid up. We want to highlight as many people as we can. So if we miss a name, please message into the show. We want to make sure we touch on as many names as possible to highlight all the talent that we have here in the Miami Valley. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be clear and sunny, a high near 40. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy with scattered flurries, a low near 15. And tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy and cold with flurries, a high near 25. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hi, Greg McAfee here for McAfee Heating and Air. Dayton and the Miami Valley enjoy buying products made in the USA. Unfortunately, many HVAC products are now made in the communist country of China. and that's where the profits go too. McAfee systems come from the states of Indiana, South Carolina, Iowa, and Texas, and we're proud of it. 32 years strong. Get an estimate online at mcair.com.
Need an online notary? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. We can notarize your documents remotely at no charge to you. All you need is a smartphone or laptop. Visit courthouse2u.com for more info.
The all-new Chevrolet of Troy is now open. What makes us different? We have a state-of-the-art dealership offering experienced service, parts, and body shop. In fact, we are the only dealership in Miami County with an on-site body shop. That makes it easy for you. With experienced, tenured professionals ready to answer your questions and diagnose your vehicle quickly and efficiently. Our priority is customer service. Make Chevrolet of Troy your first stop for service, parts, and body shop. 1375 South Market Street and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for Valentine's Day? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends everything right to your door with free shipping and in discreet packaging. Go to ro.co/Viagra to get generic Viagra for just $4 per dose. Do it by February 8th for 20% off and guaranteed shipping by Valentine's Day. That's ro.co/Viagra.
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit from ESPN. Football has played a big part in my life, but football's also a lot more than just big plays, wins, losses, and championships. Football teaches young people about dedication, sacrifice, teamwork, and overcoming adversity. So let's respect the game and get out and support your local school. You'll be amazed of all the good things you see happening at Ohio schools.
This message brought to you by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the OHSAA Radio Network.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Ohio. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
This year, the only app that you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Download FanDuel now and use promo code KINNER, KINNER, so that you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything, from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. My personal favorite, in-game parlays. You hang on every tackle, on every pass, every handoff, every touchdown. You could build your own, and they are so much fun to follow throughout the game. All on the top-rated sportsbook app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today with promo code KINNER to claim your no-sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have an oak tree in your yard?
The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices while preventing a fungal disease called oak wilt. They remind those who own and manage oak trees the best time to prune is November to early March. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified tree experts in Ohio. To find an ISA-certified arborist in your area, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Make the big game sound even bigger with your new TV and sound system from Audio Etc. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom today and experience 8K TVs and projectors, short throw projectors from 100-inch to 130-inch, all the way to your high-end dream system. Audio Etc has tons of new inventory in stock, while everybody else is back-ordered or out of stock. Get special deals on a TV and your dream system today. Audio Etc can bring any big game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. If you can't afford your dream system, check out our huge selection of vintage and pre-owned components. Audio Etc, powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. 551 Congress Park Drive in Centerville.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clear skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. It's our ultimate Sleep Number event. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus special financing. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. All right, let's see. Continuing to check these comments in the comments. So Steve says, Kinner, you have to do the Bourbon Trail. Have you ever done a Bourbon Trail?
No.
Damon says he's hitting it up in August. Nonetheless, we get a lot of bourbon suggestions. So we got to get like cigars, bourbon, golf. That's
expanding our palate.
That's where summer's heading. That's I mean, you look out the window.
Summer's a long way away.
I finally have my car up and rolling. Me and Nora, we have 3 cars in our driveway, and every time we get one fixed, that one goes. We go to get the other one fixed, and then the other one that we just got fixed goes out. I mean, it's just been musical chairs with these cars. I finally getting them all fixed and up, ready for this winter cold weather to be done. Ready for golf season. Want to be out smoking some cigars out on the golf course, sipping some bourbon, just enjoy my time. I hate winter. I hate it.
Over or under 3.5 times golf in a week for you once golf season starts?
About 3.
So okay.
About 3. So push, I guess, is that what you're saying? Nonetheless. So Doug Toby, he says the original Troll Pub is in Louisville. There's only 2.
Wow.
So someone said a while back that anytime I was talking Bengals, I should have, might have been you, Doug, that I should reach out to the Troll Pub downtown and see if they would sponsor the anytime I'm talking Bengals, just say, hey, every time. But at that time, I didn't know what the Troll Pub was. I didn't know that was like, we're downtown one time and I look over, I see the Troll Pub. I'm like, oh, that's what Doug was talking about. There really is a Troll Pub. I should go in there and get them to sponsor all the Bengals talk on this program, at least when I'm speaking. So there's that.
I'm just planning my summer activities with all this stuff we got coming in. Keep them coming in. I want to have a great summer, man.
All right. Yesterday, National Signing Day, of course, and we talked a little Ohio State. And the cool part is kind of throughout the week, you start paying attention to, especially on social media, a lot of the local high school talent kind of announcing where they're going and announcing, who they're, committing to and who they're going to be playing for here, on Saturdays moving forward, which is pretty cool. So with that being said, wanted to kind of go through and highlight some of our local schools and local athletes. I appreciate a lot of the athletic directors that I reached out to. A lot of them shot back right away lists of all their athletes that are going to be heading that have committed to playing at the collegiate level, regardless of level. It doesn't matter, Division 1, 2, 3. Having the opportunity to go play college athletics is a huge deal. If not, you end up like me talking about successful athletes instead of pretending to be one. So there's that. But, it is what it is. But all right, Kev, we'll start. Shout out to Micah Harding, by the way, athletic director for Northmont. He shot this over. But for football, Nigel Glover, and if I mispronounced your name, my apologies. But Nigel Glover, again, he has committed to Northwestern University to play football.
Nice.
Brian Jones, the University of Charleston. And Noah McClure will be going to Ohio Dominican University. All 3 of those athletes right there will be going on to play college football.
Nice.
So a lot of talent there with the old Thunderbolts, that's for sure. Girls soccer, Caroline Peters will be going to Ursuline College. So Ursuline College, Kaylee Brooks, Mount Vernon, and Grace Brown, St. Mary's College. Those 3 athletes have committed to play soccer in college again, all from Northmont High School. So shout out to them and congratulations. Abby Drozdak will be running cross-country track and field at Cedarville University. And again, these are just the names that have committed as of now. A lot of the athletic directors have said that they will be continuing to send us more, and we'll be continuing to highlight these athletes as we go further and further along. How about Fairmont, Kev? Shout out to Chris Weaver, athletic director out there, by the way. So for girls basketball, Serena Baker will be going to the University of South Carolina, Aiken. So congratulations to her. Dalton Gutzwiller for football will be going to Western Michigan.
Okay.
O'Malley Keenan, girls soccer, Walsh University.
Oh, that's up my neck of the woods, up Northeast Ohio.
My very first experience with Walsh University was watching an exhibition game for Ohio State basketball and them losing to Walsh. So, yes, that's how I was introduced to Walsh back in the day. Gray Buskard is going to be running cross country at Cornerstone University. The next 4 athletes, 1, 2, 3, 4, all going on to play football. Nate Meyer will be playing football at Valparaiso University. So, again, all these athletes from Fairmont, so congratulations again. Enoch Cruz, Georgetown College, and then Drew Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Baker, averaged, close to like 200-plus yards a game. He was that Fairmont offense, and he's just a workhorse. My goodness, every year right there at the top, leading the league in rushing. But he'll be also going to Georgetown College from Fairmont. He'll be joining Enoch Cruz, Fairmont teammates, and now they'll be teammates over at Georgetown College. Will Holt, my guy, my kicker. Will Holtz committed to the University of Dayton, where he'll be kicking for the Flyers. And like I said, we watched throughout the playoffs how important having a kicker is. And Will Holtz, he's been doing it at the highest level in high school. That's a big one right there for Dayton. Everyone talks about the quarterbacks and the running backs, the receivers, and the big old defensive players. Shout out to Will Holtz committing to the University of Dayton. Aisha Johnson, field hockey, Wittenberg University.
Right up the road.
Colin Smith will be swimming at Asbury University. Madeline Vickers will play softball at Bluffton University. And Cardin Sloan, cross-country track and field for the Wright State Raiders.
Can you swim?
I could not drown.
I'm a non-swimmer as well. I passed swimming in high school somehow, some way, but if you put me in the ocean right now, I would sink to the bottom.
Yeah, see, I don't. We last year, so a friend of mine, we go to Pensacola every year, and we went out on their catamaran, and we're out in the ocean, and everyone's jumping out, and I'm terrified of the ocean.
Oh,
Absolutely
no.
terrified. Like, anything brushes up against my leg. Yes, I didn't know I could scream that loud or have that high, pitch of a scream. But yeah, you learn things about yourself in the old ocean. No, thank you.
No. Pool, yes.
Yep.
Ocean, no.
But with the jellyfish or whatever, I got stung one year when I went out to one of my friend's weddings. My foot came back looking like a balloon. It was ridiculous.
Good
It was
times.
ridiculous, nonetheless. But again, congratulations to those athletes again from Northmont and Fairmont. Will continue to go down the list. Let's see. I know continuing this. So that was Northmont. That was Fairmont. And Jason Osborne again. I appreciate Tim sending this in from Miamisburg. And Miamisburg has quite the list. Okay. Miamisburg has quite the list. I watched a lot of these on the football side, called a lot of games for Miamisburg over the last couple of years. Christian Davis will be going to Ball State University to play football. Christian's one heck of a kid. I can't wait to watch him on Saturdays. Jackson McGowan. We've talked about him. He is going to be joining the LSU family with Coach Kelly over there, but he enrolled early over there, so that's pretty cool. But heck of a talent. Again, he was committed to Cincinnati. Luke Fickell takes the Wisconsin job. He opened up his recruitment again, and it really worked out. I'm not saying it's so much better than Cincinnati, but I think, from an aesthetic standpoint, yes, but he also got a lot more offers, a lot more eyes on him throughout after he had committed nonetheless. But Hannah Bates will be playing soccer at Anderson University. Braden Calzert will be going to the University of Northwestern Ohio. Oh, Uno. Uno. We played, I believe they're the one. I think University of Northwestern Ohio is going to be playing baseball. I have to look that up, but I think they have, how, who was it? I'm trying to think. So they have that all maroon field. Like they have their baseball field pops. It looks really cool. You have to look that up. But nonetheless, it's like Boise. They're like the Boise State of baseball, except their field is not blue, obviously. But I looked that up. I believe that's them over in Lima, nonetheless. But Chandler Hoskins will be playing softball at Marshall University. Megan Gregory will be playing soccer at Wright State. Continue to go down the list. Again, Anna Newkirk, University of Dayton, cross country, track and field. Ava Newkirk will be going to the University of the Cumberlands, again, cross country, track and field as well. Grace Prince, Mount St. Joseph University to play soccer. Aaron Schwederman, Eastern Michigan University. Again, if you're just joining us, we're going down the list of Miamisburg athletes who've committed to play at the college level again.
Very cool field. I'm looking at it right now.
So it's still that way, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yes. So let's see. Jason Ball will be going to play soccer at Bowling Green University. Braden Davis, Wayne State University to play football. A lot of football on this list. Cassidy Elzy, Ohio Northern University to play lacrosse. That's coming from a small town. When I moved here, it was kind of unique to see so many schools in the area have lacrosse. But that's really cool. Again, congratulations. Be playing lacrosse at the collegiate level nonetheless. Aubrey Garrison, Indiana Tech for wrestling. Sydney Little, Wittenberg University, playing softball. Desmond Owens, University of Dayton. Got another football flyer here from the Miami Valley. AJ Sally, Houston Christian University to play football. And then Mia Shoemaker, Wittenberg University to play tennis.
Nice.
So there you go. We'll continue to highlight more. Appreciate the ADs that sent those in. We still got a lot of athletes from Springfield, from Wayne, from Beaver Creek. We got quite a long list here that we still have to get to. We'll continue to get to these names coming up here in a bit, but appreciate everyone that sent those in. Obviously, Craig Creamer and Nate Baker and so on and so on. But yeah, there you go. Again, we're going to miss some names. A lot of schools haven't got back everything from a lot of the ADs yet, too. We'll continue to highlight a lot of these athletes throughout the week. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash will be back in just a moment.
A Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom-designed building. Just call 888-74-STEEL or visit mygeneralsteel.com to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL. Or visit mygeneralsteel.com to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now or mygeneralsteel.com.
Welcome to today's game. This is Paul Keels, and you know how much I love broadcasting the Buckeyes, but I also love high school sports. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to set a good example and make this a fun and safe experience for the kids involved. I know this game means so much to the players, coaches, and fans, but high school sports are about much more than the wins and losses. They teach life lessons that will be with the players long after their playing days are over. Good luck to both teams, and remember to respect the game.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent, but then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Ohio high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Ohio Roads and Bridges connect us to things we need and enjoy. It takes a lot of hard work and money to keep roads in good shape. Today, most of that money comes from Ohio's gas tax. As Ohioans drive more fuel-efficient and electric vehicles, people are buying less gas. That's great for our environment, but it means less money for road and bridge maintenance. Ohio is conducting a study to find a new and more sustainable way to fund the maintenance of our roads and bridges. To learn more and to provide input, visit ohioroadfunding.com.
Sponsored by the Ohio Department of Transportation and aired in cooperation with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. That's 614-470-2000.
At Staples, you can count on every project being print perfect, guaranteed.
I need presentations and brochures printed, and they have to be perfect.
Your bounded presentations, brochures with the finest folds, and more will be done right every time. That's our Print Big promise. Now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more, plus 20% back via store bonus. Try Staples and see the difference. Ends 2/25. Rewards members only. Bonus must be redeemed in store. See staples.com/stores/printbig for details.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
And we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Talking Out Loud with Sully, presented by Timothy's Bar and Grill, of course, coming up here in the third hour. So Sully will take over for us coming up here in just a moment. But Doug Toby says, curious minds want to know why the NFL Network guide was showing the Bengals Kansas City 2023 playoff game at 9 last night. Then when I flipped it on at 9:30, they were showing 2017 Super Bowl.
No clue.
Glitch
in the Matrix.
What are we upset about now? What's the world doing to the Bengals now, Doug? Come on, help me out here. Like, what are you upset about? I don't understand. Nonetheless, but either way. Let's see. Anyways, okay, I got to stop. My ADD is, I just hit my head on the thing live on camera. This has been one of them weird days. I've had a crap day trying to regather myself to have a fun show. Let's have fun. A lot of energy here to close out the show today before we hand it off to Sully. He'll take over coming up here at the top of the hour. But, all right, so tonight the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Memphis Grizzlies, correct? And this is the second time where a big-time team from the Western Conference is coming in to Cleveland, and they're resting their top stars. Now, I bring this up because yesterday I go to my office and the lights blinking and I check my voicemail. I really wish we had the capability to download our voicemails, but there was a guy that had called that had tickets to see the Lakers and the Pacers. I'm assuming that game is tonight. I didn't check to see if that game was tonight, by the way. But nonetheless, the reason he had called is because the Lakers and Pacers are playing, and he goes, I doubt you guys will know, but if you have any insight, do you have any idea if LeBron is going to be sitting that game or not? Now, first, I was like, it's kind of silly, but that I when you go on to listen to his voicemail, he goes on to explain that, he doesn't want to drive all the way to Indianapolis to watch the Lakers backups. Like, LeBron is who you're driving 2 hours to Indy to watch. You want to watch him. So the thing is at first what I thought was a silly voicemail, it's actually, I feel bad for that particular NBA fan. I feel bad for NBA fans in general, because the one thing, the NBA I thought was doing a very good job at one point as far as really just finding their own niche, as far as being a league that, okay, they're going to build around the stars. The stars are how we're going to promote our league. This, while the NFL is about teams, you could put two bad teams on, and those two teams are going to generate a pretty good rating. The greatest ratings of all time, no, but you could put the worst teams in the NFL together and still outdraw and outview a lot of the top matchups in the NBA. That's just the reality of it. But what the NBA did a very good job on, at least from when I was in high school up until recently, is it's not, the Nuggets versus the Pacers. It's the star versus the star. Right. It's LeBron versus Kevin Durant. It's Jason Tatum against Joel Embiid. And that's really what the NBA has done the best job at doing. But I feel like that's counterproductive, and I feel bad for NBA fans, because how are you going to promote the stars versus the stars when on any given night stars are taking off? And there is a line down the middle that obviously some people take the athlete side. Some people, right away hate the athlete. And I think that there could be a line in the middle where you could meet halfway and acknowledge the fact that, well, yes, I understand that athletes need a break, but we, for the older generation, everyone grew up watching the NBA. There was no rest days. There was no off days. Yesterday we had AEW was in town. We had John Moxley on. He used to go as Dean Ambrose in WWE. But that's a guy that he does his AEW schedule, gets paid a ton of money. And then when he's not doing the national TV stuff, he's in some barn tonight. I don't know where he's, somewhere around here, but he's some backyard barn tonight wrestling and, for little to no money. And it's like, holy smokes, like he's
for the love of the sport.
For the love of the sport. Now, I don't care about y'all jokes about wrestling, but the point is just talking about that with him is like, he just talked about how much he loves it. This is a guy that's thumbnail, the tacks and everything else, chairs to the head, blood coming down. I mean, he's actually getting the crap beat out of him. I know it's fake to some of y'all, but I mean, it's not the beating he's taking is not fake as far as that's concerned. This guy loves what he does, and he goes out there every single night. And even in the other network, the WWE, they have wrestlers who are part-timers. They just want to come around every once in a while, and that's what they do. Not him. NBA, star players. Oh, I played 3 times last week. I'm going to take this week off. Drives me crazy, because why in the world of all the nights that you're going to take off does it have to be the nights that you're actually getting paid to be there, which is the actual games themselves? If you play on a Saturday and don't play again until Wednesday, don't practice Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. If you took 3 days off of practice, I think that, what are you, if by sitting out of an actual game, how much better do you actually feel the next day versus maybe taking a couple practices off? And are they doing that too? Are they taking multiple practices off leading into a game that they also take off? Then that's a problem as well. I can't support that. You are a professional athlete. I get why you want to kind of control some of your older veterans. LeBron, by the way, y'all can make fun of him all you want. You could attack LeBron all you want. You can make fun of his political beliefs. You can get on to him for not sticking to sports. I don't really care how he hurts your little political crybaby feelings. I really don't care about any of that. The bottom line is that's a guy that continues to play every single second that he possibly can, and yet people don't appreciate that. They don't respect that. I'm tired of every time there's a big-time matchup. Cleveland for the second time this week. A couple weeks ago, the Golden State Warriors came into Cleveland. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Wiggins, every single main contributor to their championship run just sat out that whole game. Steve Kerr comes out after the game, says, yeah, I'm really sorry to the fans that came out to watch them, but that's just the nature of the business. Really resting the entire team? You couldn't rest maybe Klay Thompson tonight, maybe Steph Curry the next night, Draymond that night. Why do you have to pull the entire roster? Tonight, Memphis. No one really cares about the Memphis Grizzlies, right? People care about Ja Morant. NBA fans, Cleveland, you may live 20 minutes from the arena. Okay, fine. You wasted 20 minutes of your life driving to the arena to find out that he's not playing. What about the people that drive from hours from out of town? That's why I feel bad for that caller. I went from thinking it was such a silly call, Kev, to call us to say, hey, do you know if LeBron's going to play tonight? I'm like, what are you talking about? But then I feel bad for him because it's true. He's exhausting all resources because he does not want to drive 2 hours to find out an hour beforehand that a star is not going to play in a game. I don't like the NBA for this very reason. How could you be a star-studded league that brands your league with star versus star, but on any given night, those stars aren't playing? And it's not because they're hurt. It's because they're tired. I can't get on board with that.
It's so many things to unpack. One, yes, the Lakers and Pacers play tonight at 7 o'clock. 2, I don't know about LeBron yet. 3, with the Grizzly playing the Cavs tonight, Desmond Bain, who is from Richmond, Indiana. I'm sure there's some listeners from Richmond, Indiana listening to us right now, potentially driving up to Cleveland to see a family member of theirs, Desmond Bain, play for the Grizzlies versus the Cavs. And the other part is the greatest trick ever told is that the players came up with load management. Load management was invented by Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs. But the players are the ones that get the brunt of it. And now that we have 1,000,001 doctors on these teams, they are telling them meaning the teams, that, yes, according to our data, so-and-so needs a night off. Well, you're not going to take a night off versus a Western Conference team. If you play in the West, you're going to take a night off versus an Eastern Conference opponent. So that's why that happens. Grizzlies played the Blazers last night and lost a close game. I knew for the jump that Ja wasn't going to be playing this game versus the Cavs because a buddy of mine in Cleveland, he's supposed to be taking his sons to the game. I was like, hey, Ja ain't playing. They just played last night. I know, and he knew it too. So us as fans, we get the short end of the stick. But I, as a person, just say, hey, man, let's look deeper into this. It's not all just the player saying, I don't want to play. It is the whole load management thing. And the thing is brought up by analytics. I know we normally only use the term analytics in baseball, but it's been brought into basketball, and it's telling them that players shouldn't play back-to-backs. I don't know how to fix it because I know Charles Barkley just went on a rampage about how lazy basketball players are. It's partially that. I'm not going to say it's all the management, but it's not all players just saying, no, I don't want to play. It's a little bit of everybody. It's a little bit of the lower management, is a little bit of the doctors, is a little bit of the players, is a little bit of everybody that has created this storm that makes everybody mad. I mean, you look at Embiid and Joker, they had a game that they were supposed to play, and Joker didn't play. Joker is a back-to-back MVP. His greatest rival is Embiid for the MVP trophy, and they didn't play versus each other. So we were just talking about Melo and LeBron never playing for anything meaningful. Well, at least they played in the regular season when they were both at their peaks, and when Melo was in Denver and Bron was in the Cavs. We don't even get to see that. So as a fan, I get mad because, hold on, wait, I stayed up till 10:30 to watch this game, and you mean 2 minutes before game time, I'm being notified that he's not playing? That stinks. I could have went to bed early. So especially these Saturday night games, because the NFL is about to be over with in 2 weeks. So the Saturday night games are going to be on, and there's going to be guys not playing. It's bad. It's bad for business. It's bad for us as fans. It needs to be fixed. I just don't know how to fix it.
My thing is, and you give more benefit of the doubt to players than I do. My thing is, I'm not giving them any benefit of the doubt because this isn't about social issues or anything like that, but like we learn, players have a voice and they have leverage, and when they want something, they get it. So if Ja Morant wanted to play tonight, he'd be playing tonight, and there would be resistance by the team and all this stuff, or he would at least go to social media and say, guys, I'm really sorry I'm disappointing all these fans that really came out to see me tonight. But no, they'll be on the sideline. They'll be happy. They'll be doing whatever. And again, I'm not angry at him. I don't know him. I love Ja Morant, whatever. But I will always take the paying customer side over the millionaire athletes every single time. I don't care what little nerd with glasses, and me, I'm definitely not smart. I don't care what some nerd says about the advanced analytics say, yada, yada, yada. That's fine that's what that says, but there's a business aspect to this as well. And by the way, was it George Karl? You sent it to me a while back that basically called out the NBA, that all these advanced analytics are showing support of why you shouldn't play players on back-to-backs, but yet injuries are significantly higher now than what they were during the grueling 90s when that was the most physical era of basketball. Michael would get his ass kicked on back-to-back nights, back when you were allowed to foul, and a foul was a foul. So that's just the thing that literally drives me crazy is we know athletes have the voice. If MJ, imagine back in the day, if they said, hey, MJ, I know you're ready to go tonight, but look, this iPad here, it says that, that leg of yours might be given out at any moment. We need to rest you tonight. He wouldn't do that. Right. He wouldn't do that. And that's the thing. And like even LeBron doesn't do, I'm not saying he's been rested on some nights. Some of those make sense though. He's 37 years old, but he's out there every single night. Now I got to question it. Is it just an all pursuit of that record? If that record gets hit and I start seeing more, then maybe I won't be as propping him up as much, but I do got to give him credit that a 37, 38-year-old, a guy that's got to retire at any point.
But he's earned it though. He's earned a right to take a night off. I like Ja Morant too. He hasn't earned a right to be taking nights off. I just don't think that. I just don't think that Ja Morant earned their ability. LeBron James has been playing in this league for over 20 years and is about to be the all-time leading scorer. If you want to take a night off, fine. Go ahead, take a night off. It's all good. Don't worry about it. You've been up and down this league about a million times. If Billy in Indianapolis don't get a chance to see you. Sorry. But Ja Morant, like you play in the Western Conference, you only come to Cleveland once a year. But guess what? If that game was in New York, he'll be playing.
Yep.
If it was in Brooklyn versus Kyrie, he'll be playing. So like that's the part that irks me. It's when you take these nights off. It's like if you want to take a night off, all right, you want to take a night off versus the Cavs, take the night off versus the Cavs when the Cavs are visiting Memphis. You play 41 games in Memphis. Take a night off there. They have more opportunities to see you than other fans do.
Yep.
They only get to see Ja Morant in Cleveland once. Quick story. It was when Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway played with the Orlando Magic. I'm like in middle school or something like that. My mom gets me and my brother great seats to the game.
Great seats.
Great seats. Following along. Me and my brother get to the game. It's announced that Shaq's not playing. I am crushed. It's Shaquille O'Neal. And it was his last year with Orlando. It was the year after they went to the NBA Finals. And I was like, man, no Shaq. I got to see Horace Grant and Penny Hardaway. Cool. But I'm there to see Shaquille O'Neal. And at that moment, I was like, man, that stinks. But that was even before load management was a thing. But it was still sucked that I didn't get to see the person that I came to see. Like, so they have to do a better job of servicing the fan. And servicing the fan isn't just simply, hey, we're doing a whole bunch of great community work. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff on social media. Servicing the fan is having these big time stars that people want to see play on the road. That's bigger than them playing at home because the home fans get to see you whenever they want.
Yep, and that's right. I didn't even think of it from that perspective, but no, you're absolutely right. Justin Smith on Facebook says if the players are playing that night, they should at least go into the stands and sign a bunch of autographs or something that's crappy. Fans always get fans always get crapped on. Here's the deal: to the credit of some of these guys, Jimmy Butler was it last week? I forgot how far out this family flew. They flew from out of state to come watch this game. Don't know why this game. It doesn't matter. Point is, and maybe sometimes you just put some emotion on the sign to get attention. I have no clue. Maybe it's for real, but I don't believe anything. But by the way, I went to that WWE event a few weeks ago, and it was amazing how many kids in the front row just happened to have birthdays that day. I'm like, y'all are full of it. Y'all are so full of it. There's no way that every single kid of all the parents, that every single kid in that front row had a sign that said, "Oh, it's my birthday." And then the wrestlers fall for it. They go and hug the kid and blah, 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 blah. But if it's not your birthday, kid, screw yourself. I mean, I'm just like, come on. Like, I don't know if people actually really come from out of town but no, joking, of course. But to the NBA players' credit, a lot of cool stories keep coming out of players who aren't playing. And you'll see a sign that says, "Oh, I flew all the way here to watch you play. You're not playing, yada, yada." Jimmy Butler went in the stands and they brought him down to the floor. They brought the family down. I thought that was cool. But the thing is I appreciate that they do that. But I just think that this load management stuff's gone a little too far. I think load management, take practices off. Practice, like if you have 3 days off between games, I get some of this is the back-to-backs, and I get that. But again, I mean,
I don't.
The league is young. League is young.
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm on the other side of that. I don't get that. The WNBA doesn't do charter flights.
Mm-hmm.
The whole league of the WNBA doesn't do charter flights. You charter flight in the NBA. It's not like you're riding Spirit from.
We didn't charter you out here to not play.
Like you're not chartering. You're not flying Spirit from Cleveland to LA.
Yep.
You're flying private. You're good. You can play. Like I understand. Like sometimes like a triple overtime game, and then you're crossing the time zone. All right, whatever. That's fine. But like a lot of this is bogus. It's bogus, man. Like I'm not a big fan of it. I understand the point of, time off and stuff like that. But for me, it's really the road fans that get a short end of the stick on this.
All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. We'll step away. Actually, we are done as far as Kev and I for this afternoon. But coming up on the other side, Talking Out Loud with Sully, presented by Timothy's Bar and Grill. That'll be coming up next. Again, an hour long of Dayton Flyers talk with Sully. We also have Ohio State basketball coming up later on tonight. That's a struggle as well. Those, some players maybe they get off night. Sometimes it looks like they all take off nights, but no, joking, of course. We'll talk more about this, but I just thought getting that voicemail, Kev, it was like, you know me, I'm mean. I listened to it. I'm like, why is this guy calling, asking us this? And then I sat down and thought about it. I'm like, that's so sad, actually. And by the way, it's he didn't do anything wrong. I'm just a jerk. But after listening to the voicemail, I felt bad because I'm like, the fact that this guy is really that freaked out about, I don't want to drive. I'm going to exhaust all resources. I'm going to figure out everything I have to. I got to call everyone I can to find out if LeBron's playing or not, because if he's not, I'm not driving to Indy. And the fact that fans are that worried about it, that's a problem, because eventually people are just going to say, listen, if I'm going to gamble, I might as well just gamble on my phone on FanDuel, by the way. Download FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook app. It's free, it's safe, it's secure, and, it's easy to use. So make sure that if you have not signed up yet, use promo code Kinner, and you'll have great deals waiting for you when you download the app. A lot of bonus bets coming your way, and with the Super Bowl 57 coming up around the corner, take advantage of all the bonus bets that you can have a chance to win a lot of money. So take advantage of that. Anyways, as I said, if you want to gamble, all right, don't gamble by buying NBA tickets and going to an arena and then them not playing that night because of load management. That's a load of something, if you ask me. You might as well just bet on FanDuel.
I say he does play tonight. LeBron is 89 points away from breaking the record. That's a little over 30 points a game. I say he does it because that will line him up to break the record at home versus the Thunder or versus the Bucks. So
I don't know if you heard Jenny Buss. Jenny Buss was on Stephen A's podcast recently. I don't know if you heard that. They did talk about how they handle when LeBron does have nights off. They put it out more than 24 hours in advance. she did talk about that. Like, so for the other night, he had that injury. He wasn't injured. He went off for like 40-something points or whatever, and it was a back-to-back. They announced he had an ankle injury and was going to be out that next game. I can't remember who it was against, but they had talked about that. And she said with LeBron, they handled a little differently because, they know a lot of times people are coming from everywhere to watch LeBron. So they do try to announce his, but that's the thing. The NBA, because by the way, this isn't going to change. So this is one of them things complaining it's going to do nothing. But what the NBA could do is, okay, if there's going to be rest game, like don't announce it 5 hours before tip off. Like you should plan this out. You knew there was back-to-backs coming into the season. You should circle those ahead of time and let it be known. Put a tweet out there, put social media, put a report out there. If you're going to screw over the fans, at least screw them over with days in advance to prepare or plan for it. Don't wait till 5 hours before tip-off when some people are already en route, have already taken off work, planned a vacation around it, whatever it is. Now, some of our listeners in the area don't really get the importance, but imagine Dayton basketball, that happening to you. We don't have an NBA team here, so we can't relate to this as much. But then again, I think we can relate to it because if we ever go to an NBA game, we are the ones driving 2 hours to Indianapolis, 3 to Cleveland. So we would want to know if that's the case.
Definitely.
All right. Appreciate everyone. Steve wants to know, will Donovan Mitchell score 30 tonight?
Yes. He's coming off a bad game. He just came off a game where he had 16. It was like 3 for 13 from 3. So, yes, Donovan Mitchell doesn't have back-to-back bad games.
All right, folks. Talking Out Loud with Sully, presented by Timothy's Bar and Grill, coming up next.